Okay. Let me see. Is the stream going? Is it up and going? How's it going, Phil Jones, Black Goku? How's it going? How are you guys doing today? What's going on with you guys on this nice Tuesday? I did not plan on streaming today, but people brought it up in Quan's stream, so I decided I would go over and do my thing and just kind of chat. And like, I saw the crazy Kenmano super chatting Quan, and then people generally asked if I was going to stream, and I didn't plan on it, but seemingly people were interested in it, so I decided I guess I might as well maybe do some like impromptu stream. But I'm just setting up real quick the tweet to go out saying, hey guys, come hang out, come do whatever. But other than that, for the most part, I gotta figure out what exactly I want to talk about. I guess I can probably just go over the chapters, because we got the chapters from last week and then obviously yesterday. So I mean, I can just easily talk about that just as much as I would any other thing. So, what's the big hype tonight? Okay, the big hype. We do have chapters tomorrow. One second. I just had to message somebody real quick. But I'm trying to think of what exactly to put for the tweet. The Four Nights the Apocalypse doesn't have a normal freaking a normal hashtag, so I'm just trying to like make one real quick. I'll just go with this and for what I've got, and then I'll send out the stream. We'll chat. I'll read the chat and the comments, and then I'll talk about generally my plans. And then I just was gonna give a quick update on my plans for like my Patreon, just really quick. I don't want to mull too much on that because I don't want to make that focus in any way. That's as like back project as it I could possibly probably have on this channel. Anyway, let me read some of the comments. What's up, Lewis Jr.? How's it going, man? Javaldo Anderson, how are you guys doing today? When do you think Zorn Magnum will show up? The thing is, Tabata is keeping them in the back so much that the only way that they can show up at this point is in some big hype, a cavalry arriving moment. So maybe like after the next gate is opened. And then there's also the fact that like we have other characters that we know are going to be there. Someone like Noel's whole crew. But also there are characters that are adjacent to events that should show up, like Mars. And then I still think the Witch Queen has to show up because the Spain Kingdom they're encroaching on essentially the entire continent, which that includes the Witch's Forest. So she should want to participate in this war to stop them, because when it was all the other kingdoms doing their own thing and they don't bother her, okay, it would make sense of why she wouldn't get involved. But if they're going to just start conquering land, and it'd be weird for them just to ignore the Witch Queen, because they should have the full forces to take over the Witch's Forest. The Witch Queen should want to side with them, because at the end of the day, she sides with a bunch of people she doesn't like, and then the end result is they defeat the bad guys, and then the Clover goes back to leaving them alone. The Spade, Spade gets quelled down. Heart and Diamond don't do anything to her, and I know the Diamond did obviously invade at one point, but they're not doing anything anymore. And the Diamonds, I would imagine, they didn't have nearly as much of a threat kind of position as the Spade did for them. So we'll see. And I mean, like, not only that, like, the Conquer, I mean, like, the gate gets open, and then, like, the Witch's Forest is screwed. They have to prevent that from happening. Do you think Ignia will go after Lucy to get to Natsu? Oh, 100%. Like, he's already shown that he's fine with it. Like, one of the first things he did when was talking to Natsu is he said that he would kill his friends in order to motivate him. Like, he's 100% fine with that. That's entirely on his agenda. So we'll see how that's going. I came from Quan's stream. Yeah, I thought, I actually took a nap. I really wanted to take a nap. I was just feeling that Monday sleepiness. Like, I called in. I didn't go to work today because, like, the snow was really bad, and I didn't want to get out my car in the snow. So I was like, I'll just call in. I'll go back to work tomorrow. I think it's mostly supposed to be melted by tomorrow. But I don't know. I was tired most of the day. I was just real sleepy. And took a nap, woke up, saw Quan streaming, jumped in to say hi in there. And then people were saying they wanted me to stream. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll come hang out, come stream, come chit-chat, and see how things are going. And we'll talk about generally what happened last week. Because I didn't do a stream on Saturday. It's like I usually take at least 1 week off from the streams a month. Like that is my plan. Like I want to go back to, I want fully to be at least 1 stream a week, but I want at least one of those weeks to skip stream, and that's usually the 2nd week of the month. I don't stream, but I guess I decided to do this like later in the week, you know, Monday. Well, I guess it's early in the week stream because Monday's the 2nd day. Either way, let me get some of the comments. Leo a hybrid. Listen, if there starts to get actual like reasoning to the whole idea of the Vermilions being not entirely human, I'm perfectly fine with that. But there's not enough right now to go off of other than like that one Leo panel. But I'm all for it. Like legitimately, even if I'm like it's like a theory I'm kind of like on. I'm all for it. I'm all for Leo getting hype and Leo getting a better spot. Also, when I was making this thumbnail, I noticed like the size gap between the ancient demons from the Spade Kingdom and the Demon Licht. Because I was looking at more about the characteristics of them. Because I was looking at like, okay, the wings, you know, the extra hands and stuff. But really the size. The demon, this demon is maybe the size of Licht's foot up to his knee. Like, it's actually really like a big gap. Because keep this in mind, this demon is right next to the mountain in at the capital. Right next to where the hill starts. And the Licht demon died almost at the edge, and it looked as big from that distance. And then when you compare the sizes of them, trees are like not even up to like the tops of Demon Licht's toes, where the like trees and people are fully fine and visible in comparison to the ancient demon. So I'm actually really happy about that. It was just like such a sheer gap in obvious placement for them. It does away with any of the weird power level problems that could have happened. So, like, granted, Asta is a different scenario because he is like the natural predator of these ancient demons, but it still would have been weird for, you know, him to body something that was like, you know, an issue for Licht, for Lumiere, even with the power advantages, just because it'd be like, was he fast enough to compete with him? How is he able to do anything like in the stat realm of doing anything with him outside of physical strength? But no, like these ones are absurdly not even close to as powerful. Though I wish we got to at least see one of these giant balls like of mana, these big mana spheres go off. Even if it's like, oh, you hit them by the hands and they shot it into the sky and it just kind of like puts a giant hole in the clouds. Something like that I'd be perfectly fine with. I'm just wondering, like it's one of those attacks. It's like we keep seeing it, but we haven't seen what it's capable of. Maybe with Marileona, because Marileona's demon is still up now that I think about it. Arax, how's it going? Hope everything's good. Oh, it's going good, Irene, in July. It's just a normal Monday. Just hanging out. Like I said, I just woke up from a nap, so I'm surprisingly energized. And I gotta remember within the next like half hour to take some stuff to help me take some sleep aid to help me fall asleep. Otherwise, I'm not falling asleep at a good time tonight, and then I'm gonna be groggy at work. What's up, Fuzzy? Brian Fontes, how are you guys doing today? A lot of people didn't like the Aquarius. The thing about it is, these matches are 100%, like, they're a subplot. On top of that, Mishima even had Celine comment of it being kind of like, being a bit cliche. And that's what he was going for, though. He was going for just like a really nice feel-good chapter. We know that memories and like connections and stuff can override mind control based abilities in the series. We saw that with Atlas Flame. So why couldn't someone like Lucy have that with Aquarius? We know how important Aquarius is to her both as an individual, but also how Aquarius is a bridge to memories and stuff about her mom. So there's a lot in just Aquarius being there. And really, when you think about it, when she talks about how, like, the memories in the water, and you think about all the times, like, Aquarius has done something to Lucy in her water, that's how the series started. Lucy summoned Aquarius, used Aquarius, and Aquarius washed them all up on shore, and that's how Natsu was able to defeat Bora. Lucy and Natsu, you know, run off, and then Natsu brings her to Fairy Tail. It's legitimately, it's such a nice callback, but at the same time, I don't know why people thought this was going to be a long plot. Like, the next chapter very much, I mean, I can't say 100% because I don't know what the chapter is. I gotta wait another week. But it looks so obvious that it's going to be a Grey chapter to show off Grey's upgraded abilities in Elentier. So, like, these matches aren't supposed to be, like, big matches. They aren't supposed to... This isn't the end fights, like, against the God Seeds or something. Like, for the most part, this is, like, as we saw with Aquarius, an emotional fight. We see stuff with, like, the potential of Lucy. We were going to be seeing, I guess, like, the stuff with Grey. The only match I can see being bigger is if Natsu does fight Urza, or if it's, like, a group fight versus Urza. But, like, an Urza fight, I can easily see being more action-based. Whereas like Gray versus them, like Gray's not even using his Devil Slayer ice. He doesn't want to hurt them. He's just trying to incapacitate them. And we'll probably see what his upgrade is in the next chapter. Victor versus Sukuna. So, 1 second. Let me put a pin in that route. Let me get caught up with the comments, and then I'm going to talk about that, because that is something that I do want to look over. Because I think one of the things about that, I think a lot of people that are picking Sukuna don't know anything about Victor, but it's such a weird match. And I really can't wait to find out more about them in general. Oh my god, Kenmano, you mad lad. Let me read this. Kenmano for the $100. Give that goddamn Atlas Slim video racks. I'm going to use Quan to get his godlike power to make release a video. Also, when you have more free time, you should do either another tier list or maybe another character item cards. I am planning on doing more tier lists. I'm 100% planning on doing that. Because that's like an easy extra stream. If I want to just do an extra stream, just do a tier list. It's fun. Everybody can be involved in it. It's entirely opinion based. There's nothing about it that it's like me saying this is 100% of what the facts are. It's entirely my opinions. I am gonna do more character videos. So I've been thinking about it like the past like week and a half about like doing the Atlas Slim videos. I've been wanting to do it. I gotta wait for the audio to go by. You just busted a nut. I don't put stuff off because I just don't want it. Like I haven't been putting off the character videos since I did the Makarov one because I just didn't want to do it. I want to do them. The thing that I realize I don't want to do is I don't want to have them structured in segments. I'm just gonna do them. I'm gonna write down bullet points and I'm just gonna talk, because that's the thing that I'm really good at, just talking for, just going over a topic, regardless if I'm talking about, I know what I'm talking about or I do. I'm good at talking. So I am going to do those. I already know how I'm going to do the Atlas Swim one. I'm going to tell you that real soon. Don't worry. I have not been neglecting the video. I haven't been neglecting your requests. I've just been procrastinating. So if you want to pick like another character or two, Kenmano, just put it in the chat. I'll line them up, because out of the next videos I plan, like I'm going to do my Black Clover prediction video for the next chapter, and then tomorrow is going to be Eden Zero, and I assume Eden Zero and Four Nights of the Apocalypse, assuming those chapters get translated, or if they get done on the Wednesday, either way. But following those, and possibly before then, if those get pushed to Wednesday, like if those translation don't come out till Wednesday, then I'll probably do it tomorrow. But before I do any content that is outside of the chapter review, I'm doing the Atlas Flame video. I've got a couple video ideas, like I have a Lucy video I want to talk about, more stuff with Celine, maybe an Eden Zero video or two. But before I do any of those, I'm doing the Atlas Flame video. I already decided that. I decided that a few days ago, and I don't like pushing back like video ideas that I have. I'm just bad at procrastinating. Don't worry. I feel bad when it seems like you believe that I'm just putting it off because I don't want to do it. It's not that. I'm just bad at procrastinating. So don't worry. I'm going to get to that. I'm probably going to get to that today or tomorrow. I already know what I'm going to do. I already found a way to kind of cheat with what I was going to do, because in the background that I was using, I was like, do I want to just like record it every time? Because that was one of the big things that was a problem the first time I did it, is I had to like pick a spot. I had to record it anytime like my game would go AFK. Like I had to stop, fix my guy so like the little AFK notifications would go away, and then get back on track, and then that each time would eat up like a couple minutes, and then I had to edit each of those out of the video. What I did instead is I just went and recorded like, I think it's like 6 to 7 minutes of my guy sitting there, and I'm just gonna copy that and then just kind of put it at the length I need for the video, and then just record over it and edit in the pictures. That'll save me a ton of time. So that's essentially my plan for that. I was going to talk about that in the stream, but you popping up, I didn't need to push it back any further, because, you changed the topic with your crazy super chats. But don't worry, Kimono, I 100% am not neglecting the video on purpose. I'm just bad at procrastinating. At no point have I been wanting to make you feel like I'm ignoring you. Don't worry, man. But anyway, let me get to some of the comments. I'm going to get to the Victor versus Sukuna thing, Ray Ryu, but let me catch up, because I know I'm way behind, because I've been rambling, and then I got to your comment, and then I got to come on in the super chat, and I want to get caught up, and then I'm gonna get to Victor versus Sukuna. Yeah, but what's up, Tusk EX? How's it going? I know you're looking forward to the Melia or the Four Nights of the Apocalypse chapter. Also, Tusk, did you comment on the Asta versus Bond thing today? It's like, if you just take Seven Deadly Sins versus Black Clover, I'm gonna go Black Clover. The only thing Seven Deadly Sins at least currently has over Black Clover is the King of Chaos stuff. But Bond is the worst matchup for Asta in Seven Deadly Sins. Like, he's a very big Asta counter. He's like how like, Natsu versus Asta, Natsu outclasses him immensely, but also, like, the way that Natsu fights, we know, is Asta's weakness. But Natsu still uses magic, so there's always that argument a little bit. Whereas, like, if you put Luffy versus Asta, like, Luffy hard counters the hell out of him. Bon is kind of the same way. So, like, Bon does have magic to a degree, but Bon's is somewhat different, and I don't even know how Asta would even notice it's magic. Like, I don't really know, like, the full details of it, but I don't think Asta could beat Bon, at least currently, just because Bon is, like, the perfect counter to Asta. So, anyway, I'm disappointed about Asta's devil form. I actually like it a lot more colored. I'm hoping there's more to it. The thing that I'm really hoping is that he has, like, a mask. Like, I've been picturing it in my head since it got shown that at some point he puts his hand to his face and does, like, an Ichigo hollow mask, and he has, like, the face of Libe's silhouette, you know, of the big spooky one that we saw in the last chapter and we first met him by. Like, that will look so cool if Asta has that. I'm really hoping that's going to be the case, but I do like how it looks. The bigger thing, though, I will say about it, I like how it looks mobile. When Asta's moving around with it, I think it looks so slick and so clean. It just, the pose, I think, was kind of the problem, because when he lifts the Demon Slayer sword up in the air, he looks like a lot more muscular. And I'm wondering if maybe it'll be like he's leaner when he's just kind of, you know, standing around, and then when he flexes, it's like maybe the muscles just burst up and get bigger just by, you know, go back to, like, maybe Asta size or something. So it would, like, you know, it would kind of just visually display any time that he does a big move. Let's see. Good to see you. Oh, thanks, Talim. How are you two? Well, no, I just started. I'm only like, what, like 10 or so minutes in, 15 minutes in. Yeah, Quan raid. Yeah, Quan, I was going to wait until Quan was done, but Quan had a good point of waiting till, like, going while he's going so he can kind of, like, push as many people over as he can. Usually I try and do that with other people stream soon. It's very effective. Helps push people along, helps move the activity. I don't like streaming when other people are streaming, just because it, you know, it might pull away viewers from one end, or some people might not show up because I want to see other guys stream, and that can create just pointless friction between people. So I don't like to stream when other people are streaming. I don't want to cause any issues at all. What's up, Rax? We in here? What's up, Quan? How's it going? How are you doing, Quan? I know you're looking forward to the Four Knights of the Apocalypse chapter tomorrow. I just want to know what Percival's power is. Like, if we get spoilers tomorrow, and the only spoiler is like a sentence in just text that says, Percival's power is this, I'll be perfectly happy. It's like the last chapter, when people were waiting for spoilers, all I wanted was what the form looks like. I could have been perfectly fine waiting for every other detail. I just wanted to know what it looked like. Like, stuff like that, people's powers, people's names, and like certain, they're like very specific traits like that. I want to know what they are, and it's the biggest bother to me. Also, I will mention when I get caught up in the comments before I get to the Victor and Sukuna stuff, I will mention a plan I have for Eden Zero. So just give me a second. Oh, hang on a second. One of my friends just messaged me in a game. He got stuck on something, so I'm coming over to see what exactly happened. Oh. Hang on, 1 second. Oh, he just fell. Oh, he's gonna die. Dang it. 1 second. I ran over to go help him, and he immediately falls off the edge of this platform. Anyway, let me get to some more of the comments. What about Grey Natsu versus Yokai Urza? I'm actually really hoping it's Natsu versus Urza, because Natsu's been above Urza for a while. And I think that the Yokai Urza is the perfect time for them to fight, and it not being like somehow Urza is just absurdly more powerful to go up with Natsu. Because I'd say if it's like Natsu up to Fire Dragon King mode, sure. But the second Natsu enters Dragon Force, like, Urza stands no chance. I don't believe anybody in the guild really stands a chance against Dragon Force Natsu. The closest is like maybe like if Guild Arts went all out. 1 second. I don't think my friend knows I'm streaming. I'm just telling him, because I don't want it to be like I'm neglecting him too. But when it comes to that, like, I would love to see like a Natsu versus Yokai Urza match. And Gray's already doing his thing. Gray's gonna get his thing. If it's like a team fight against Yokai Urza, I'm fine with that. But I would prefer it if it's just 1v1, because we could get like a really sick battle this early in the arc. If we can get like an Urza versus Laxus quality fight at the beginning, like this early, before we can get to like the real meat of the Allen tier arc, I'd be very happy. Those were only like a handful of chapters in. We're like 6 or so chapters in, and assuming that this arc is, I think this is going to be longer than the Drasil arc, because the thing, like the general difference, just looking at it, is Mishima's already put so much more into Celine's personality and Celine's just the way that she operates than with Alderaan. And granted, Alderaan was asleep. Like him getting up was one of the reveals. His personality was made to be like he was what would be one of the big front runners in the anti-human side of the Dragon War. Like during the whole Civil War, he would have been probably a big shot on anti-humans. So I think that fit him, and I like that he was just like this, you know, dark, almost king-like murderous dragon dude. So he didn't need to have a ton, just based off what he was going for. But, like, Celine already has a lot for her, and I really am hoping that this is going to be a long arc, with a lot of, like, stuff around her. We get a whole team versus Yokai Urza. I'm okay with that, but I prefer Natsu versus Urza. Came from Quan Channel. How's it going? Dante's Gravity, how are you? I don't know how to spell your or pronounce your name. TRVP Duke. Turvip Duke? I don't know. Either way, how's it going? What's up from Quan... Quan Immaculate Stream? Oh, no, Quan's a tough guy. I don't know if you know this. Quan has actually picked up a small car. What is it, like one of those little beetle cars? Quan can pick it up with his bare hands. I've seen it. He sent me the video. What's up, Gene? How's it going? Semi, how are you doing? Robin McLean, how are you? My disappointment in the Devil Unions, and I wanted to see a new attack. I think it's being saved, because as far as we know, this is the first time Asta's, you know, really used it. Because, like, he could have achieved it down, like, in the crypt, but it's not like he was out there using it. Like, he doesn't have anything that we know of that he would have, been practicing down there. So if this was what I believe is Asta, like, I want to get a feel of how strong I am in this form. That's what the devil form is for. Or the Devil Union against the Ancient Demon really kind of turned out to be. We'll probably see some, like, actual, like, new stuff. Like, real new stuff from Asta when we get to the devils. Because the one that came out, I think it's Nama. Everyone believes that's the one that threw Libe up into the gate. That's probably going to be the one that we're going to see, like, the form really in action on. Who's Quan again? He's Quan Incredible, the Incredible, big tough guy. He's what is the thing called? Like the despicable duo of Josuke and their shenanigans. They're really cool. You should check out their channel. Obviously, go subscribe to them as well. They do Black Clover stuff, and I know Quan actually, like, on top of that, like, he's doing a lot of Eden Zero stuff. He's doing Four Nights of the Apocalypse now. He's getting on that. And then Josuke has a lot of really fun live streams, so you should definitely check his out. His are always really fun. Lots of chaos, lots of shit talking and laughs. Let's see. Gina's mod ever. Gina's is a super mod. Let's see. Rex, I should invite you to my Discord. I don't want to decline, but I am in so many Discords. I once saw Josuke's Discord side tab when he was like messing around on doing some stream. He's got a ton too, and he's got like so many messages that that shows like 3 notifications in this server. I don't know how he leaves those alone. Like even if you don't go check, if you just went and marked a red, that'd be one thing. But like I have so many servers, and if I get in another server, like it's just gonna be like I feel bad when people invite me to a server and then I don't talk in it just because like there's so many. And I have my own server. I'm in multiple other YouTuber servers. I'll join, but like I won't probably talk that much. Like you'll probably see me pop up randomly. What's up, Guild Zero? How's it going? He's lying. Me and Rex were cuddling all. No, Carrot. I 100% disavow. Not if you're slander. Can you please explain the idea of Natsu versus Plank Temps? You mentioned it in your review, chapter 22. So the general idea is because Natsu's fire, and the way that it works is the potency and the heat scales up his emotion. We know that from back in the fight with Aragorn. So, essentially, Natsu's fire has a way of continuously just getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and it just keeps going up. And the way that Slayers work is Slayers can adapt to their attribute. So even if there's like a version that they couldn't just eat and are immune to, they can adapt to it as long as they're fast enough to do so. We've seen it from Natsu, we've seen it from Gaju, we've seen it from Gray. If they're fast enough to adapt to it, they can adapt to it, gain that immunity, and consume it. So the whole idea is there's multiple things that kind of go with it. Like I wish Machine would just state it, or at least heavily imply it. Is one, we know that Savage dragon fire, like what he says, it's they're flames of savage emotions, obviously connecting to his emotional flame. The fact that it affected time, the fact that it burnt out an infinite energy source, the fact that Natsu wasn't able to adapt to it fast enough, and he's never, before that, he had never, ever been burnt by his own fire. So his fire was going up at such a degree that he wasn't keeping up with it. So all these things, because when you get to plank temperature, which is like this, it's essentially the fire equivalent of absolute zero. And you, like, at that point, the laws of physics and concepts and stuff are irrelevant, because you just get to such a degree where, like, energy doesn't really, like, you're just, I don't even really know how to describe it, because I'm not a scientist. Like, I only have a brief idea of the what it does, and you know, like, once it gets achieved that point, like, I can't even fathom of, like, what plank temperature would really do if it was, like, existent. Like, would it just be, like, a big void of anything around, like, energy? I don't really know, but it's essentially that. Like, it's a little bit weird because it's so crazy to think about, but it aligns up with so many other, like, crazy power level stuff that was happening at the time. And anytime Mishima gets crazy with power levels, he gets really crazy. Let me see. I tried riding Quan X Booty so many times. It wouldn't. Quan X Booty? Which hype up Pino for being a shining star? I'm very, very curious of what Mishima's got for that idea. The rack and relax stream. Oh, I appreciate my, my streams are more calming. Inferno 21, dude, I didn't notice your comment at all in Josuke's stream the other day until Quan brought it up. And when he said it, I was like, oh, who cares? But that got to Faith so bad. I didn't really expect it. Like, if you said that about me, I'd have been like, sure, dude, I just want to be friends with people. But, like, Faith, the weird thing is, like, Faith doesn't try to act like he's, like, a tough guy. He just kind of just does his own thing. But when you said he was soft, dude, you struck a nerve. Like, he was displeased by you. Like, I don't think I ever, like, jolted him to upset as fast as you did. I gotta give you props for that. Like, that shit was funny. Like, and then you have a YouTube channel about it. Man, you are like the new arch nemesis of Faith. Like, if he was a villain, you'd be his Joker now. Beside Nero versus Ziggy, I still really hope that happens. And I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about a plan I have for Eden Zero. I'm not going to go too much into it, but I will say when I am going to reveal the whole thing, but I'm going to reveal the gist of it once I get caught up with the chat. But I'm breezing through the chat because I do want to get caught up. Rack's face roll, I don't know when that's going to happen, man. That's actually funny because it does relate to the topic that I just said I want to get to. Like the stream. Yeah, I really appreciate it if you like the stream. Thumbs up the video, and befriend the like button, subscribe button. Anyone who hasn't, subscribe. I try and do my streams generally once a week. I try and do them on Saturdays, and then I'll have like random streams like this at who knows what time. But mine are mostly just conversations. Mine are more chill. That I'd say like if you want like a chill stream, I'd say go to like Quan or mine. If you want like class and chaos and just like a lot of a lot of bullshitting around, a lot of just like dude humor, like go to Josuke's stream. Josuke's streams are extremely fun. My streams don't have that level of chaos. Like sometimes the chat might get a little crazy, but I tend to keep things a lot more calm. Or remember in Josuke streams, just everybody unlock your chaos form when we're going crazy. Always fun. The other day, though, it was funny because I think it was like the chapter spoilers. We hadn't got the officials, and some people hadn't shown up yet. And it was like Josuke hadn't read the fan translations, and the stuff I wanted to talk about, he hadn't read, so I couldn't really talk about it. So I didn't really have anything to say, and so I had very little energy. So it just felt like such a sad stream. And I remember thinking about it afterwards. I'm like, man, I was a buzzkill that stream. I should have like had an energy drink and came in with some energy, ready to yell. I gotta do that next time. I felt bad. I was probably like one of the worst guests at that point. I'm never down unless it's between Charlotte's thighs. That doesn't sound like a nice place to be, though. Anyway, I got back on topic. I thought about it for a second. Anyway, me, ex-mimosa, it's just all girls, Jason. Also, Jason, don't think I haven't noticed your Build King slander, man. Stop it. I like Build King. I'm going to be really saddened if it gets axed. I think it's really fun. I really like the last chapter, too. Vermilion Season soon, said bad. Oh, dude. As much as I do like Nozelle's magic more. I will admit that. Like, I like the fire aspect for Fuego, but Fuego hasn't done a whole lot outside of just, like, the salamander shows up and breathes fire on stuff. Nozelle's magic is just really cool. Like, I feel like he's some long-lost brother of Gray, or he's, some evolution of Musica. He said, well, screw Silver, I'm going Mercury. And he's just got that really sick, like that free-form style of ability. Like I always like that. It's just so cool because when it comes down to it, you don't have to have like a certain spell to do a certain thing. It's like if you're just freely manipulating it, you can do almost anything you want. As long as it obviously is pertaining to shaping it and stuff. And then, you know, certain spells and certain things that it does is different. But, like, there's nothing stopping Nozel from, like, if he wanted to make, like, like an axe or a crossbow out of Mercury or a cannon. Yeah, like, he can freely manipulate it. He can freely manipulate it. I think I know what Rax's name is. Oh, you just call me Rax. Actually, oh, crap. Actually, just, my real name is Quan. My real name is Quan, but it's all in capital letters. Yes, sir. What's up, Rax? What's up, Co-Spirit? How's it going? To be honest, we've seen enough for millions for now. We need some Silva development. I can agree to that. I'm very curious of what the deal is with the father. Like, is he relevant at all? Is he going to do anything? Or is he just kind of like, hey, I'm a political figurehead. I'm not involved in important story. My name is Zach. My name is not Zach. Not even close. I'm not going to tell people if they guess it anyway. Like, I like to try and keep my persona of mystery. Quan, it's okay to eat booty, won't judge you. As long as Quan's eating it clean, man. Forrester arc is over. Do you think it's better than Drac and Joe arc? Oh, over Drac and Joe arc? No. I love the Drac and Joe arc. Drac and Joe arc was super sick. Like, I got Drac and Joe arc like a solid 8.5. Like, it might move up to a 9 in the anime. Because, like, the anime... I do include the animes when the animes do it, like, good and, you know, and hype stuff up, like, big heavy. Like, when you think back in, like, Sirius Island, and it's, like, Natsu versus Gildarts in the manga, it was a big character moment. It's still a big character moment. Like, you can't look at it and not think that, like, it wasn't a huge step for Natsu. But in the anime, they hyped it so high up with, like, the music and that extra aura around Gildarts, and he's just, like, this black shadow of, like, almost sketch art, like, the way that they were kind of drawing him in this, like, rupturing silver aura with the red eyes. He looked terrifying. I forget Nebra and Salt existed. Yeah, it sounds like Fairy Tales do more. No, Fairy Tales go. I don't know what you're talking about, Carrot. Your ass. Shimura Emma. I don't watch Fate. I don't know much about it. But isn't, like, the Fate dude, isn't that guy Universal or something? Siobhan Anderson? No, but Forrester. Yeah, I liked Forrester, but I definitely wouldn't put it above Drac and Joe arc. Valkyrie Mimosa soon, Sea Dragon. If we can get some... I don't know about Valkyrie Mimosa. Mimosa, though, I swear to you, she secretly has a 4-leaf clover. Like, she is lucky beyond belief. Rax only... having 4K subs doesn't feel right. I'm okay with my sub count. I like right now, if I could send all of my subs, like for the next 300 subs or something over to help Josuke get to that 1,000 mark, I would. Get him to the 1,000 mark, get him monetized, so, you know, I can also heckle him with, like, the occasional super chat, and we can help get him making more and whatnot, get everybody in that 1,000K range, get up Jack Oates as well, get everybody moving. I haven't seen Eber since episode 20 or so. She was in the last chapter. Should Wendy or Natsu beat Celine? I expect all of them to always be involved. I really want it to all be all of them because this is a mission for them. And it really just depends on who's going to get, like, a heavy spotlight. There is a video I want to talk about. So I mentioned that, like, I have a couple of videos I want to talk about Lucy, but I'm going to wait. I have to do that Atlas Flame video beforehand. I don't like procrastinating on stuff as much as I do. I figured out the problem that I was having with it. Like, the first problem I had, I figured out, and the second problem I had figured out. Like, right now, I figured out a cheat way to do it, and it fits into my way of doing things perfectly. All I have to do is record it over and talk, and then put panels in regards to it. So, I am going to get to that soon. Don't worry. And then I've got some Lucy hype videos. I'm being for real. I'm going to hype the hell out of Lucy probably in the next week or so. So, we're going to be going over the Lucy hype, because no Lucy hype has happened in a long time, and I'm ready. I'm ready to hype her up. She deserves it. Rex Warcraft attacks me for trashing a fairy tale, yet there's Carrot. Wait, what? I don't attack you. If I call you out on something that you say that's slanderous, I can guarantee you nobody in the chat is safe if they start busting out fairy tale slander. If Quan busted out fairy tale slander, I'm going after Quan. And I'll tell you that, like, I almost never mean to Quan. There was a funny comment that Josuke had the other day when he was, like, saying that, like, I couldn't turn on Quan. But, like, the thing about, like, when it's me slandering, if I'm gonna, like, say anything back to somebody, I usually don't say anything unless somebody says something to me first. So, like, really, it's funny that Josuke said that, because, like, I don't say anything I don't like do anything to Josuke either, because Josuke is the same as like Quan or like J Cloud and stuff. They don't really ever say anything mean to me, and like anytime that they like maybe they're trying to troll me or get at me, like either they tell me or I figure it out. So for the most part, like I almost never have any form of like plans to say anything at them because they don't do anything to me. So I usually don't have anything negative to say at Quan because Quan doesn't do anything to me. So like it's a weird way. Like I'm a very reactionary guy. Like in terms of like slander, like I'm like a Wobbuffet. You have to throw something at me first, or I'm not doing anything. Otherwise, I'm just standing there. And I'm gonna wave to you and say hi. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny because when he said that, I was like, man, I don't say anything like Quan or Josuke or any of those guys. Any of the guys that don't do anything to me. I get at Faith sometimes because Faith says some things that I don't agree with. I'd at least, I'd say usually around once a day. But yeah, I'm almost caught up with the comments, and then I want to get to the, what I wanted to mention, about, like, an Eden Zero plan I have coming up, but it won't be for a while, but eventually everyone will know about it. I'm just gonna bring up a little bit about it. So let me get to, yeah, people are going over Kenmano. Kenmano is a crazy guy. Kenmano, I have been happy he hasn't been going too crazy in the streams with Super Chats lately, because, like, I want people to treat themselves too, like, but at the same time, like I've mentioned it a million times, people can do whatever they want with their money. If he wants to throw super chats around, he can do it fully well. He earned it himself. He has the right to do whatever he wants with his money. But I would hope that he buys himself some nice stuff, buy some manga volumes and whatnot. Maybe when Build King finally gets a volume 1, as long as it doesn't get axed, I can push Billman to buy Build King. Let's see. Can't wait till I get a job so I can start doing shit like this. Gene, you gotta be crazy. Gene, when you get a job, let me say this. Gene, when you get a job, maybe like first paycheck, if you want to like throw a couple super chats to people, sure. Definitely, I'd say save up for, like after that point, probably the next couple paychecks, save up. Because you always want to have like a good amount of fallback money just in case. Like if something happens, like, you know, a laptop breaks or car breaks down or whatever. You always want to have some good fallback money to help you buy, especially as you're like 16, so you don't have to pay for as many, like you don't have to pay for like bills for utilities and whatnot. You don't have any of that junk that you have to balance amongst fun budgets. So definitely I would say when you start making cash, like just be a little clever with it. One of the worst things that people always one of the things that people very regularly will think back at is like how bad they were with money when they were younger. I know there's probably a good amount of people can think back of like, man, I wish I saved this money at an earlier age so I didn't have whatever struggle later. I remember at one point like I had like $1,000 and it was like before I joined the military and I was living at home and I just had like $1,000 to me, no utilities, no bills, and it's just like I felt so rich. I could just do whatever I want like every day. And if I wanted to go out and go to whatever food place or go buy some cards or whatever. I mean, granted, it's not like I could go buy a ton of stuff, but it was like for my daily life of what I like to do, I felt rich. And it was fun. Yeah, Kamano always goes crazy. I'm looking. So we need the Jalal vs. Lax video. I am planning on jumping back on that soon because I was thinking about it the other day. I kind of want to wait until Jalal gets a new form or something new because Lax has just got that red lightning dragon mode, and like Jalal hasn't got any upgrades since he hasn't gotten anything new since the series or the 100 Years Quest started. He's like Gray, where Gray's gotten almost entirely character stuff. But I do think Jalal is going to be in this arc, like Celine's. I think at some point is just going to pluck him up and pull him over. So I am hoping that we could get something there. But I do really want to wait for something for Jalal. Because if I do a Jalal video and a couple months later, like if I do Jalal vs. Alexis and a couple months later Jalal gets a new form or whatever, I'm going to want to do it over. Because I'm going to want to talk about whatever Jalal gets. Rectinic Sure is the leader of the Ocean 6. It's a high possibility, just because we were shown 5, so there's a number that is being kept secret. So it's either I think it has to be the leader, but is it Shura or just like a different character Mishima has, or is it going to be like some reveal of a character we already know? It's a really weird one. I'm hoping we find out tomorrow when we get the Raws, because I don't think the fan translation came out, and I haven't seen anything about the. I'm going to look right now. I haven't seen anything about like. Raw chapter, here's the link. I haven't seen anything about that lately, or at least since this week. So I'm still wondering if we're going to get anything before the chapter release tomorrow, because otherwise then I'm just going to buy the Japanese chapter when it comes out and scroll through it, see if there's a 6th member. If so, I'll post about it on Twitter. Fairy Tail would be top tier if they use power of friendship in a minute way. In a minute way? Well, first off, that's not how it's spelled. And second off, people over-exaggerate the hell out of it. It's the problem is, if friends in any capacity is mentioned in a sentence, people assume it's power of friendship, and instead of like looking at like, okay, how did this happen? They just jump on that. It's like a weird default. And I talked to Quan about it recently. Like, people give Mishima a hard time, but people won't give mangakas, like other mangakas, the same hard time, like at all. And people were complaining about like EN Zero characters, the ones that Mishima intentionally made look like characters from previous works, because he does stuff ongoing, and like, I don't know why it really mattered, as long as the personality and, you know, character, story, and everything in there was different. But, like, nobody said anything about Burn the Witch. Nobody said anything about Percival looking like Meliodas. People only say stuff to Mishima. It's really annoying. It's kind of like how, like, people will do that to a degree with Black Clover, but, like, any other series could do something that, like, Black Clover would do, and they would just ignore it. They'd just be like, oh, it's fine here. There's a couple series that have this weird aura to them that, like, people will just slander them as, like, a default. I don't really know why. Will we ever get a Rax and Iron Nancy collab? I've talked to him about it. Like, the first thing that I mentioned was to do a Mira Jane versus Grey video, and he won't do it because he knows that Grey in reality is going to stomp. Muddy counters Asta. What do you mean Muddy? There's some Bond versus Asta. I mean, so like the snatch thing, that would have to come down to like somebody's physical strength or whatever their durability is, because it's not like Bond can just heart snatch everybody out of existence. That wouldn't make sense. There's obviously limitations to it, because otherwise, why didn't he just do that against like everybody that he fought ever? There are limitations to it that definitely have to be taken into account. Oh yeah, I would definitely say Bond though, because Bond definitely counters. Gray versus Gray stomps. For one, every stat Gray is superior, and Gray can freeze wind. Gray can freeze wind. It does like a tornado attack on it, frozen solid. Bond can die. Right, are you anime only? I don't want to spoil anything if you're not caught up. Wait, hang on. I saw a character comment I wanted to get to. Let's see. The next character like you discuss is Natsu. Kinmano, I'm going to need you to pick a different character. I've already done a Natsu video, but like the plan is there are certain characters, when I get to them again, they're going to be long videos. Like Natsu is one of them. If I ever get to Zeref again, it's going to be one of them. When I get to Laxus, it's going to be one of them. Jalal, long video. Like, anybody that isn't going to be somebody that I have to cover the whole, like, essentially, like, reread multiple parts in the whole manga in order to get to. Like, Atlas Flame is easy, because really, you have Grand Magic Games, you have the Sun Village, and then certain, like, lore aspects to kind of relate to, like, knowing about, like, the war with the dragons and everything. But, like, Natsu will take me a while. Like, if you wanted me to do, like, a Natsu one, that would be a project. Because I would have to go over a lot of stuff. Power scaling Natsu video? I don't know. Really, you like the manga and videos? I do like them. I think they're kind of fun when they look believable. I mean, Natsu would just go out and body this guy. It wouldn't even be a problem. Bonnet causes Asta by a lot. I mean, Asta has, like, the reaction speed to deal with him, but, like, the thing is, if he can hunting fest Asta's physical strength and physical stats, and, like, what's Asta gonna do? And he gets zero sign, so Asta can't detect him. Can Asta read his grimoire? Like, I know that's a high possibility, but we haven't seen that stated, but it's something I fully believe is possible. Purgatory Bond is a Minute Society. Yeah, he's way more powerful. He just doesn't have that regeneration thing. Which I'm glad, because, like, after a while, just regenerating a ton gets kind of eh. Unless it, like, he didn't have the whole thing kind of like Dante, where Dante's also makes him monstrous and grotesque, and he just gets into, like, this, big, horrific nightmare creature. Bond would just kind of regenerate, and it was, unless he ran out of stamina, it was just like, you're just going to keep beating him up for a while. Rat's got that typing magic. I'm not that fast of a typer. Oh, no, he can't neutralize Bond's immortality. That is not true, because like, Bond got his immortality, like, one of Bond is, I don't want spoilers, but, like, the whole Fountain of Youth isn't the same as, like, a magic spell, because if that was the case, all Merlin or anyone has to do was absolute cancel Bond, and he would just die. But the Fountain of Youth is like a completely different thing within the series. It's like a weird cutoff from magic into its own thing. Rax is very calm seeing a friend roll off a cliff. I mean, it's a video game, so it's good. That's facts in front. Like, okay, I'm trying to speed up. Maybe Rax got that Asta and you don't trust. He rezzed up. He's good. Hunting Fest to work on Asta. Yeah, it should. And like that's like as bad as it gets for Asta. Is somebody taking his physical stats. Like if you take away Asta's senses and physical stats, like that's such a bad day for him. I'm scrolling. Don't drop your Discord in the chat. Okay, yeah, 1 second. I'll drop my Discord. Let me drop my Discord for anybody that wants to join. And then I'm just skimming through because here's one thing I want to mention. If I ever skim past somebody's comment and if I missed it and they really wanted me to answer it, just re-ask it. As long as people aren't spamming it, unless it's like I keep asking it and somehow you keep skipping it, then that's on me. But for the most part, like if I skim past something, you had some like very specific, like Rax, who wins between these two characters? Just ask it again. But if I ask it once, like, not hating, but I've had people like ask me a question and I answer it, and they'll just ask me again, and I'm just like, man, can you not hear me? Like, what's going on? I don't know if it's like a bot or what. You think angels will show up in Black Clover? That's like a weird one. I kind of hope they don't, because we already got dude, if you're in 10 servers, dude, I'm in like 85 or something ridiculous. I'm in so many servers. Let's see. I kind of don't want angels, like the god stuff, if they're related to gods, but I don't want it to be like we get a new faction and then we get a brand new faction on top of that and then another new faction. Unless if it's gradual, sure, but like I don't want it to be there to be like angels and then gods. Like if there's like a couple of them and they're like more like a not like a whole faction, but there's just like a handful of them, like a group, and they're like, oh, we are out here doing whatever in allegiance to like the god realm or whatever. I'm like, okay, sure. If it's something like that, I'm perfectly fine with that. I just don't want it to be like we have like angels put in, and then there's like a whole angel arc, and then it's gods, and then a whole god arc or something. I kind of want to just see like other countries and like see Asta and them explore the world, because that's one thing that I think would be really fun to see us to just go out and just see, whatever Tabata can draw and create for landscapes and stuff. Oh, hang on, I saw a plank temperature comment that I wanted to do. Let's see. Hunting Fest would work on him. Like, at least it's a good thing that I know where that is. Quan is basically on par with Broku now. Quan is very strong. Like I said, he can pick up some cars, not all cars. Anything like the size of like one of those Beetle cars, Quan can pick up easy. But if you get into like a truck or something with a lot of horsepower, like that's not his thing. No, I think it's the steel frames, like the base steel frames. The heavy escalation just gets really crazy. And I'd say anything around 1,000 pounds or something is pretty Quan accessible. Let me see. When he's about to use 1% of Irene's power. Well, isn't that power? That power should be gone. But like Irene's just teaching her like the enchanting abilities and like all the different skills that she has. Let's see. I saw stuff on like plank temperature I really wanted to answer. Where is it? I don't see it. Let me keep scrolling if I come across it. Okay, here we. I think I might have found it. Plank temperature is also called absolute hot. Yeah, it's essentially the heat version of absolute zero. Apparently, the machine was hinted at Nashi using Taurus Flame. So he mentioned like Star Flame, or it was kind of like a mix of just like Celestial Spirit Magic and Dragon Slaying Fire, or just Fire. I think he'll make her kind of like essentially like a Celestial Fire Dragon Slayer. I think that'd be really cool and just like an easy nod. Maybe it's like Lucy's magic, and Noxus magic is potent enough to kind of like give her like a new form of Dragon Slaying magic. You're calling Argel Saw is basically as hard. That, I mean, like, at the same time, like, that came out of nowhere. I don't know what brought that on, but at the same time, I'm just like, man, you got under his skin so quick. I thought it would have just been brushed over and it would have been a nothing. But, like, holy crap, like, you did a good job at, like, getting under Jean's skin, or, sorry, not Jean, under Faye's skin. I just saw a Jean comment, so Jean's name popped in my head. Dobby's backstory is messed up, and Denver screwed him up harder than I thought. From what I understand, though, like, the officials are slightly tweaking the dialogue to where it puts more blame on Endeavor. Like, I think there was, like, a part where he says it's because, like, the reason he's like this is because I'm your son, and it's more of, like, I'm like you, I've got, whatever the whole thing on that is, like, he's got the same motivation, but when he changes it to, like, because I've got you as a dad, it's almost like it seems like Endeavor is just forcing him to do it. Even so, even though Endeavor wanted him to stop. It's like a weird thing going on with that, but at the same time, like, I'm so confused on some of the aspects of, like, Endeavor, because I could hear Endeavor seem like he actually did care about his kids to a degree, but, like, I just always think back to, like, the sports festival and how he was in the audience. Like, he was, like he gave off, like, borderline villain vibes, and that's, like, how a lot of people thought he was. And I'm fine with his development, but I'm like, was he just not, like, borderline a psycho evil dude almost, like, for a little bit? He wasn't, like, evil, but he definitely was, like, on that, like, warpath that he could have gone down that eventually. But I'm glad he didn't. I think Endeavor's pretty cool. Let's see. What's up going on, Josuke? How are you today? With Little Chaos is always good. Yes, I agree, Moses Zapata. Moses Zapata, that's a fancy name. I've never heard that. I don't think I've seen you in my chats before. I feel like I'd remember a name like that fancy. Sounds like an anime character. Roxkit, 5 out of 5 chill streams. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. You are always amazing, Rax. So it's really funny. I mentioned it to Josuke, like, I really wanted to know why my name would always come out in caps whenever he typed it, but I guess his phone just does that. And I remember seeing that, like, the day he posted a video. And that shit was so funny, because I'm, like, thinking, like, oh, it's finally going to reveal it. I was like, oh, it's just autocorrect. I know that. It just shows sometimes I overthink stuff, like, very drastically. Those are way better characters than Fuego. I think they're both pretty good, though. What do you mean? I hope Build King didn't cancel. I hope so. I hope it doesn't. I like it. I think it's pretty solid so far. I really like the very classic shonen vibe it has. I like the main character. I like it's got a lot of meathead action vibes to it, but at the same time, I love the world building already. We'll see. This arc, I think, has a good chance of raising people's opinions of it. Like, we already had a pretty good first moment in the last chapter when Tonkaichi just picks up. He's like, all right, everyone get your hammer. He goes for a 5-ton hammer. He goes for the heaviest one possible and just bops the entire arena. That shit was actually pretty hype. And that was all done at the end of the chapter. Let me see. But yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I'm waiting for maybe, like, the first fight until I get to, like, really start pushing it again. I'm guessing that there's going to be some fights in the next couple chapters, because everything so far, like, we've gone through this step of getting rid of the fodder characters, so I would assume up next is maybe, like, the better characters are going to be flexing on each other, and they're going to be competing. Wait, you didn't know, Josuke? There's a video. Oh, yeah, Quan can pick up small cars. That's a fact. Fuego is not so Fuego. He is, like, lukewarm. Fuego's cool. What do you mean? I don't know about Silva's father. Yeah, he's weird. Who would we say is better villain, Drac and Joe or Fighting Festival Art, Laxus? Oh, I mean, I definitely go Drac and Joe, because Laxus, the whole thing when we revealed Laxus is he wasn't actually bad. He was just confused, and he had a bunch of pent-up emotions that really screwed with his head. But at the core of it, like, he didn't want to hurt anybody in the guild. Like, he didn't see any of them as an enemy. Like, well, hurt them is definitely a word. Like, he just didn't see them as an enemy, because he was definitely hurting all, he was beating the hell out of them. But we know that, like, deep down, Laxus, like, because he can't lie to fair law, he didn't see any of them as an enemy. Whereas, like, Drac and Joe was just, like, he was a space crime lord. He didn't give a shit. Like, he was out there shooting people if he felt like it. Like, that dude just had no chill. Rax is W friend. Bro, he's invited to all cookouts. Man, I'm awkward at cookouts, because I'm like, I'm like this weird blend of, I want to be social, but at the same time I'm antisocial, so I'll have, like, random spurs where I want to go out and do stuff, and then, like, halfway into it, I'll just kind of revert back, and so, you know, being me, and then at some point randomly, I'll probably try and, like, I'll realize what I'm doing and try and be social again. I like this yin-yang, like, constantly twisting chaos of antisocial socialness. Joseph versus Josuke? No, that's a different Josuke. Like, he's Josuke, not the JoJo Josuke, but I feel like he's influenced by the JoJo Josuke, but I know he's influenced by Yosuke, the actual person. Rax, can we get some Asta, Noah videos? I haven't had any, like, theories on them in a while. Like, right now, like, my big theory character, I've got a couple of theories coming up, is Lucy. I've got some Lucy theory videos coming up. I might do one on Noelle, because, like, I have been wondering, like, how exactly her ultimate magic is really kind of going to pan out. So I'm going to talk about that probably maybe soon, maybe, like, an idea of how I think it's going to happen. But we'll see. One of the big factors that I need to see before I go off of one of them is, like, does she have Undine, or does Laura Pachica still have Undine? Because that to me is, like, it's such a big question mark on, like, where it is. Because we haven't seen Undine since the Bonica assault. And, like, we saw Noelle's grimoire shining. That could have been her getting Undine. But it's like, I'll go into it in the video. But anyway, I hope Endgame losing at portals. I'm going to go over that in the video. Like, I actually really want to talk about Lucy soon. I'm fairly nice, Josuke. I try not to be hostile with people unless they're hostile at me first. Like I said, unless like a Wobbuffet. And there's so many comments. Let me see where I'm at. Like, how far? There's my Discord, so I'm not as far back as I thought I was. But I am going to try and speed blitz through some stuff. Let's see. What about people? We don't talk about Keep Up with the Todorokis. Yeah, they're an odd bunch. Can you just link someone Josuke's channel? Can someone... Oh, yeah, I can link Josuke's channel. Oh, Josuke's in the chat. Come on, if you click on Josuke, you should be able to just go to his channel. But I will link it just in case. 1 second. Let me see if there's anything in the scroll bar. Actually, I'll just go to it. Let's see. Black Clover versus everybody. Josuke's streams are really fun. We have a good time. You'll really like it. Luckily, I don't draw a lot of ire from the chat. For some reason... Fades and Faith haven't caught on that, heckling the chat is not net positive. So I try to keep good terms with the chat. You mess with the chat, there's way more of them than there are of you. Like if I got in some people in the chat, like, I'm gonna be responding to one guy, and if there's 10 people, I'm not gonna keep up. You gotta pick your battles, man. How long were you in the military? I was in for 5 years. Which is best girl? I really like it. Homura, though, is best girl. My first paycheck will be dedicated to Rax's patron, donation to Rax supporting Rax's manga. So actually, I will mention a little bit about that in like a plan phase and later. One thing I will say about my Patreon, I want to start. I'm waiting on the person I'm getting art commission from so I can finish my layout. And then I'm just going to do a couple videos. I mentioned, like, it's mostly going to be, like, essentially the same style where I'm talking, but I'm going to have a frame in it. I'm going to have the video of whatever I'm watching in there and the volume turned down, so if somebody wants to watch it with, like, my commentary, it's mostly if you just want to know my opinion as I'm going about it. Like, it's not going to be, like, crazy, the reaction anime guy, like, doing all these things. It's going to be more on, like, the conversation, the commentary, and then, I'll give my words as things progress, like, at the end of the episode and whatnot. But, like, it'll be very chill, very fair budgeted, nothing crazy. But, yeah, so I will mention a little bit once I catch up. Because I did want to go at that, and I wanted to talk about that Victor versus Sukuna thing. You think Tsunatsu should win against Celine? They're going to have to do a lot of stuff to catch up with Celine. That's the thing. I mean, obviously, they're going to beat her in the end, but, like, there needs to be a lot of strides in order to get there. Like, with Mercephobia, Ignia showed up. Ignia was, the pure factor of how they're able to take him down. With Alderon's strength and how they beat it. The way Alderon had his strength and the way they beat him is very mechanically based with the God Seeds and destroying the God Seeds in order to weaken him for, whatever the time period was. But with Celine's just out here. She's just out here. When you look back through the series, Fairy Tail doesn't have that many fights where characters get a power boost purely by emotion. It's mostly, like, it's a handful of fights. Like, there's, most of the fights, like, the characters are outsmarting them. They're figuring out a way to, with their teamwork. And they're able to overcome their opponents. And it's, like, some of them are just, like, they're fodder characters. Like, the freaking Hungry Wolf Knights. Like, nobody saw them beat the Hungry Wolf Knights. Like, I can't believe they beat these guys. It's like, these were random bad guys that were just thrown in here to add, like, a couple extra matches for the characters that aren't competing in the tournament that day. My Hero having the Prince Zuko burn on Toto. There is, like, a weird amount of similarities between My Hero and The Last Airbender. It's pretty funny. Burn the Witch's definition. Well, it's not mid. The thing is, it's just so slow with, like, you're going to get, like, a volume a year. Like, 3 to 4 chapters a year. Like, if this was, like, a couple volumes in, I'm sure Burn the Witch would be a lot better. It's just, like, the first chunk, we only really got, like, a taste of things. And then we've been waiting. You're going to be waiting forever to get another one. Let's see. Scrolling down. Gray kills you. Yeah, Gray dominates. That's not a fight. Bond's not just heart. See, like, he, like, the thing is, like, he can do, that's like hockey, like, how, like, you have the Conqueror's hockey. You can knock out fodder, but really, both Bond and, Bond really only use that on fodder, and then people who had zero guard up at all. Like, what was it? I can't remember which of the demons. Was it Marcella? that he ripped the hearts out, like, but she was, like, she had zero idea that he was there. I'd have to go back and look exactly of the fight and what happened, but outside of fodder and people who had no guard, like, I don't think Bond's heart snatched people. But it's completely different if you have no guard up, because you know, it'd be like attacking somebody in their sleep. That, you know, they're just laying there. Unless somebody just has, like, one of those naturally absurd bodies that, like, even if you shoot them when they're passed out and does nothing, then sure, then you're screwed. Wait, what is this? Tempest Dark Natsu? What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, in that Tempesta, when Gray froze tornadoes, Black Divider go burp. But Black Divider's not really going to do anything to Bond. Which is boring. Which isn't boring. She's really nice. Like, she just hasn't had, like, a big character arc yet. She's like this big den mother supporting everybody. Licton Lumiere versus Demon King and Spring Goddess. I feel like Licton Lumiere got this. Because, like, light counters Similarly Sin's demons, but also, like, the way that the Demon King works, if Lich just stabs the Demon Dweller sword into him, it's just going to start siphoning magic out of him. And I doubt, like, what is his power, his king power? I can't remember what it's called. But, like, his power to reverse things, I don't think it would work on, like, he just gets more power from the sword. I don't think it would work like that, because, like, the sword, it's a different style of, like, how it's affecting him. Yeah, like, it would be like if someone used absolute cancel on the Demon King, assuming they were strong enough, you know, because obviously power levels wouldn't come into play. If they were the same level, use absolute cancel, then I assume it would cancel it. Natsu was cheating from the beginning to the... Wait, what? Was cheating from the beginning to the... Oh, to the E and D. I see what you did there. Devil Union Asta versus Spirit of Boreas. You know, oh, definitely Asta right now. Hey, Rax, make a video character from Abyss and Seraph love story. That could be on the table at some point. I do like their sad Romeo and Juliet style relationship. Was the fight between Urza and Laxus a tie or Laxus won? Oh, Laxus won. Urza dropped down. And the thing on top of that is Urza had additional prep time. Like, Urza still has, like, she is prep based, but, like, her two swords, unless she always has those now, unless that's just, like, a one-off thing. Like, if it's a one-off thing, then, like, that's definitely, like, Urza had, a bonus advantage. If she always has these fire and ice swords, then that's different. But she still had, like, what would be, like, a general equipment buff just going into the fight early. Where it's like, Laxus didn't have, like, oh, I brought, like, the Thunder Palace with me on top of everything else. But, like, Urza still was close. Laxus won, but Urza was close. So, Laxus better get his shit together. Urza's gonna overtake him. Laxus won, but Urza was almost at his level. Yeah, like, Urza was only, like, a couple scraps away. World building is insane for Black Clover. Black Clover's got some solid world building. The thing is, like, Black Clover's world building, it's mostly set on a couple locations, so it doesn't feel like there's a lot of it. But we just have a small amount of like spread, but like a good amount of quality to and quantity to those locations. Like, if we could get like a good couple chunks more of Diamond Kingdom and Heart Kingdom more, we've got like a fair amount of info in all of them. Like, the Diamond Kingdom just doesn't have enough. Like, if you wanted to, like, just have, like the thing is, like, with the Diamond Kingdom right now, if you try to do, like, a Diamond Kingdom lore video, you would have almost nothing. Once we get the dwarves, I'm sure that'll be, like, a good segue into, like, having Diamond Kingdom lore, assuming the dwarves are going to be there. Do you think Undina's water, or Loa's water spit? I think she does, but I don't think she's going to keep it. I'll go over that in a video I have planned. Yeah, I believe Urza. Yeah, Urza did lost. 1,000 pounds. Yeah, Quan is powerful, man. Urza gave up. No, Urza collapsed. Like, it came down to both of them had no magic, but Urza just was so physically exhausted she couldn't stand up. Whereas, like, Laxus was tired, but he's, like, he was tired to, like, a normal degree. Like, he just, like, it looked like he just got done with, like, a crazy workout. So he just sat down. Like, he was just like, all right, yeah, I'm pretty much good. Like, if they decide to keep fighting, it would just come down to a fist fight. And Laxus was clearly had more energy, just not even magic, but just more general energy left to fight back. Kind of like, you know, when Urza, Nightwalker, and Scarlet fought. But except in this case, like, Urza just collapsed. Like, she had nothing left in the tank at all. Others said as long as one piece of Nard. Yeah, Tabata did say that. So just that was a quick already response to Flybee's comment. Because Tabata said he can go that long. I think he could, though. It really just depends on how many ideas he has planned out, because, like, the whole Spade Resurrection went 200 plus chapters, so if, like, the War with the Spade goes up to around, like, even 150 and then, like, whatever the arc next to that does, like, another 150. Like, bam, we're already at, like, 500 plus chapters. The next long chapters does a manga need to start an anime? Usually I see them around 100. And then, like, if they're monthly, I think somewhere around, like, 50 or 60. Yeah, see people in the comments are dropping that, too. Usually I see stuff around 100, though. Oh, anything to bottle? Oh, I already read this. Let me scroll down. Rax and relax. Maybe that's what I should call the streams. The Rax and relax. Accidentally hits Urza, so you have chosen death. I can't wait to see, like, an actual Urza versus Natsu. That's why I'm really hoping that's what's going to be the case in the next 100 Years Quest chapter. What's up, Asta? How's it going? Sheridan Kane, how are you doing? So, oh, let me read some of these really quick. Rax, who can Kana beat from Black Clover? In, like, an actual fight, or do you mean, like, a drink-off? Because Kana sits decently well. Like, she has her card hack. She can trap people in cards. But she has Fairy Glitter. And Fairy Glitter should still, like, in terms of raw strength, just off of that, should put her well into, like, she should have well into Wizard Saint levels of offensive capability. So that should be, like, a captain level attack, but I don't think she generally would have the same captain level stats. Because August was messing with her. August didn't, like, she wasn't keeping up with August. August was lowering to mess with Kana. So, like, I think Kana could take, like Kana could definitely take Rill. I have no doubt Kana could beat Rill. Probably somewhere around, like, the lower captains. Like, she can't obviously do it with Yami, because Yami just can outclass her immensely with hacks. I would love if drunk Kana, like a drunk fighting style, became a thing, because that would be so perfect to counter somebody like Yami or Asta with key sensing. It's like the drunken martial arts is so unpredictable. That would be the thing to be like if you had to have that argument, because Kana has the firepower to deal with some of these people. She just doesn't have, like, the rest of the stats and feats, but she definitely has, like, a good level of power in order to just, you know, compete in, you know, at the base level of things. But yeah, let me talk about, like, a plan I had. There's about 35 people in there. Oh, heck, let me see this. What would Diablo's reaction be to ED? They'd probably be like, oh, fuck that. We're not fighting that. We're getting the hell out of there. Wait, I know I asked what point Fairy Tail could beat, what point in Fairy Tail Asta could beat Natsu. I would probably go, like, part 1. Grand Magic Games Natsu, I'd say, like, is where Natsu beats Asta, because Natsu has dealt with anti-magic, and granted, the anti-magic that he fought wasn't the same before anybody jumps on it, but he would, like, Natsu's mind, he would treat it as the same. He knows this energy cancels magic. Don't let it hit you. Natsu has experience fighting swords people. We've seen that. Like, he's fine catching with his bare hands. He is very nimble in a fight. On top of that, like, he has fire on top of, like, just in general. We know that Asta can't just full negate heat that comes from magic. Like, we saw that in the Witch's Forest, and it's not like Asta isn't just, like, an all-route magic tight, like, full-on canceler. There's a potency to it on top of that. But he still can take damage from it, and on top of that, like, Natsu has lightning, and lightning is, like, a conventional durability bypassing thing, by just how, like, electricity and lightning works. So, like, Natsu definitely, like, at that point, I'd say, like, him and Asta are fairly closer to level, but Natsu just has experience on him, and then he has just way superior fighting capabilities. That could change, obviously, with Asta's new form, maybe bump it up to, like, Tartar Sark Natsu or something. But, like, Alvarez Natsu is where Natsu gets really, like, the power jump between Natsu to, like, Tartarus to Alvarez, the jump Natsu has is, like, the biggest natural jump Natsu has in the whole series. Like, not counting specific power-ups, but just, like, what he has over a time skip or, like, arc between arcs. Like, Natsu at that point just became so much more powerful. It was insane. Like, when we saw him take down Ikusa Tsunagi in base one hit, like, that was insane. Yeah, let me get to, like, though, I have a plan. I'm gonna scroll up really quick, because there's some stuff that I'm gonna get to. Wait, what's this? 4K viewers away from 1 million. I don't know if I'm gonna... Wait, what is this? We're 4K viewers away from 1 million on the Eden Zero teaser. Oh, wait, really? Oh, 100%. Definitely go pump that up. Like, I want to see that at 1 million. And the Eden Zero anime looks hype. I'm really excited for that. Oh, there's the comment Hill had. So, like I said, sometimes, though, if I skip a comment, just re-ask if it's something that I skimmed over. Because I generally don't try and skip. Oh, August versus Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is bodying him. Doctor Strange is too ridiculous. Well, let me real quick get to what I wanted to mention. So, I'm sure a lot of people saw the Eden Zero character contest. So they had 5 people
were winners, so their characters are, the 5 members we know of Nero's Oceans. So I talked to the one of the people that made one of the winning characters, and I'm getting a character commissioned so that the next time they have a character competition, I'm gonna submit that character. And fingers crossed, hopefully I can get him in. The character seems pretty cool so far. I really like the design, and I don't want to go too much into it, but I will say when if they announce another character competition, that's the day that I'm going to post it, so just wait for that. I'm going to keep it I'm going to have a copy on my phone, I'm going to keep a copy on my computer, I'm going to keep a copy probably somewhere, on my Twitter, in some random DM that I have with myself or something, or, a Discord, back channel that I have had, for what, I have a private Discord server that's just me, but I don't use it as a Discord. I pretty much, if I find a manga that I want to read later, I'll copy the link and I'll post it in there, just so if I ever want to go back and find it or something. But, I'll probably post it in there or something, and then my plans for that. So, assuming we get another character competition, I will show that character. I just don't want to put it out there beforehand in case somebody tries to, try and snatch it from me, and then post it in there, and then if there's 2 of them and somebody else gets it, they might credit them with, the win, and that would bum me out, heavily. So, I'm going to wait until they do it, but I do have one made. And I am looking forward to seeing people's reaction to it. I've been talking to this person for the last day or two, and that so far the idea that the design and the ideas coming from it seem pretty sick, and I'd be really hyped just to see it in any Mishima manga. If he put it, if he said, "Hey, I like this idea, I'm gonna put it in Fairy Tail instead," I'd be like, "Sure, sweet, let's do it." But I mean, Eden Zero, I'd be just as happy. Super hyped just to see if I can win. Regardless, if I don't win at that point, I would be curious to see what people's opinions on the character is. But anyway, let me see. You should do some ban DC chats from Versus Battle. Yeah, when you get to DC stuff, DC and Marvel get too crazy. I'm not a fan of when things get. I don't want to say too crazy. When things get meta is when I don't really care, because I remember talking to somebody about we were talking about Tower of God power levels, and I guess there's a bunch of characters that exist almost they're almost like editors, they can just change stuff in the story. They're these weird meta creations that can that if you put a character against them, they could just be well, I'm gonna change your whole character or something. I don't really know exactly how they work, but I thought that was just kind of dumb. That's one of those things where, especially if it's not just one of them, that's your god tier. That's a bunch of people. It's just that kind of seems like you're just doing power levels for power levels. And I'm not a fan of that. I think that's kind of boring. But also, when things get meta, it gets weird. I'm just not as much of a fan. If it was, blowing up the multiverse and doing a bunch of crazy stuff, I'd be way more for that. But, when stuff gets, too annoying to describe, it just gets unfun. Because, how do you have a match with meta-level characters? It's oh, yeah, I go onto whoever's computer decided to make this match and delete the tweet. That's what they do. I'm just that's dumb. I don't know how powerful Tower of God is, but somebody told me that there's a bunch of meta level characters that do stuff like that can mess with the story. They exist between the manga manhwa writer and the story. It's really weird. I don't really know though. I have no idea about where Tower of God sits. I do not know. Also, just real quick, because we're at what, an hour in or something? I actually have no idea how long I've been streaming for, but or really, actually, hang on, I got Streamlabs. I'll pull on Streamlabs. We've been streaming, yeah, a little over an hour. So, just because it's been a little over an hour, I would like to say I'd really appreciate it, if people would thumbs up the stream, friend the like button, subscribe button, and donate if they feel like it. Not required. Any donations is appreciated, but they are a requirement for the stream. If somebody thinks I deserve $1 or $2, I'd really appreciate it, but like I said, they don't have to if they don't want to. So, just putting that out there. I always got to do a little bit of a plug at at least part way in the stream. I'm gonna be right back, because it's I think it's almost 7 o'clock, and so I really quick, like I said, I gotta go take some sleep aid, just because I took that nap, otherwise I'm not gonna get to sleep at a good time. So I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. All right, I've returned. We'll go on for a little bit longer, and then I'll probably call it maybe like 20 or so minutes. But until then, a minute somewhere like on universes are on. Wait, what is it? Marvel universes are on Marvel and DC level scaling. No, like Marvel and DC, they get too crazy, but they have so much like you can't even argue at a point because they get like they have like think about trying to debate like if you said, oh, this like if they wanted to have like composite Goku versus composite Superman. It's like composite Goku, you have like a couple things to kind of go over, like a couple series, but composite Superman has stories for the last 80 years. Like, imagine all the info that somebody has. Like, there's so much. Like, you can't even close. Did I read the new Mission Yozakura Family? I did. I liked it. I actually really hyped to see where this art goes. I want to see some of these bad guys. I want to know what I want to see that little dog kid, like, fight. I like the little dog kid, but I hope that there's going to be no sustainable damage to Dog Child. No, like they can get scrapes and scratches, but like I don't want anything bad to really happen to that little dog kid. Let's see. The guy at the start will reveal he's the White Wizard and the true bad guy. I think El Seria is still very suspect. I do not trust him. I do not trust El Seria at all. I've brought that up many times. At no point have I ever looked at him and said, like, oh, he seems like a pretty nice guy. 1 second. Okay, let's see. Apparently Soul Cartel is a pretty good webtoon. I don't read a lot of webtoons. I remember reading a little bit of it when it first started getting translated, but like I didn't keep up with it. I don't know what it is about webtoons. I've just never been a huge fan of them. Let's see. Did Rack sleep? Oh no, I just went up real quick because I had to go get a drink and then take some sleep aid, but I'm still here. Yeah, guys, characters are little. Yeah, they're. I think they're pretty crazy when it comes to their power levels too. I've seen some like I think they have like galaxy level feats or something. They do some like 4D hacks or whatever it is. What do you think of the Promised Neverland season 2 anime? I haven't watched it. Like I stopped reading the Promised Neverland when they got off the shortly after they got off the ranch because I was like I'm just gonna wait and read it in bulk and then like apparently like people didn't like how it ended and now people are not happy about where the anime is going and I'm just like well okay man. They should have done a battle series. Probably would have been less hectic and less of a problem. It's pretty good. The Archangels, Devils, oh, that's talking about Soul Cartel. Asta versus Nero, Natsu. Yeah, Natsu, like, got a big jump in the Grand Magic games. But, like, before that, like, Natsu was not... Like, Natsu in Serious Island was not that, like, much to talk about. Like if you were going to use him in bear fights. Like, at that point, it's, like, literally... He's got fire, and he's got... You know, some feats. Like, there was, like, no hacks to him. He had not much for, like, crazy things to kind of, like, press up with his, with his character. Because most of the crazier stuff he did were with, like, his, you know, in Tower of Heaven and Arasion Sace, not Surazan, or on the Arasion Sace arc, when, you know, both of the times he had Dragon Force. And you know that obviously, like, Natsu in base is more powerful than both of those forms by miles. So... we can, you know, even if that was like a form, not the same that he's using now, he's got better than that, and even in base, so you can kind of scale those things up there. But like after Serious Island, when we got to the Grand Magic Games, is where Natsu really started to kind of like step up in his position, both in the guild, but also like in fights and stuff. He became a lot more contendable to like bigger matches. And since then, like every time a time's gonna happen, so he's just taking big chunks stronger and stronger and stronger. And now we've seen like his potential with his fight against Mercephobia, and we saw how powerful that form was. Like, he's ridiculous. Let me see. Tell us, how was your day as it goes so far? My day's been pretty calm. Like I mostly just did chores today. Like there wasn't a fan translation for Eden Zero, so I didn't really do anything with that. It was mostly just doing house chores, doing chill stuff, commenting on stuff on on Twitter, and pretty much just chilling. Like I didn't really do anything that crazy, but I was actually pretty cool with it. The Astaroth is part of Broku's Star Mesh there. I think that was when I first started to know about Broku.
Because I remember seeing that video at one point, and then I started talking to him when he commented on my review of the one shot for fantasies, which I still hope gets serialized because I like that too, and I like that author. But you know, we'll see exactly where that goes. But yeah, this just reminded me something of that. Oh, Kenmano, motherfucker!
You just busted a nut.
Kenmano with the $200. I'm still thinking about which character I'd like to discuss. But when, and if you do another tier list, I'd prefer you do waifu tier list. I can 100% do a waifu tier list. I'll do one Saturday if you want me to. Do you want it just to be Fairy Tail, or do you want it to be a bunch of series? I will ask that. Like, do you want it to be one series specific, or do you want it to be spread out? Damn it, Kamano. Like I was saying earlier, but I mean, at the same time, I also said earlier, you can do whatever you want with your cash. Like, it's 100% up to you. Kamano always goes crazy with the super chats, but... man. Yeah, Kenmano is what Gene's final form is going to be when Gene achieves his true levels of Genery. But yeah, Kenmano, which, do you want it just to be Fairy Tail, or do you want it to be, like, multiple series? I'll let you pick. Because that was one of the ones I wanted to do, was, like, I want to do a... I didn't do female lead yet. I did main character... And I did Rival, I think. I don't even think I did Villain. But I only did, I think, the 2. I was planning on doing more, because I was looking back at them. It seemed like people liked those. And those are, like, some video ideas that people will always click on, even, like, way later. Because it's, like, one of those things you're more interested in what this person's opinion is, rather than, like, oh, what happened in the new chapter? What is everyone raving about, or something. But I have been planning on doing some more. I was going to do a female lead list, but, like, either's fine. I'll probably do a couple. I'll probably just maybe do, like, my mains. Because, like, if I do just Fairy Tail one, then I don't know if that'll be just as hype. I'll probably do, like, Fairy Tail, Black Clover, Eden Zero. Maybe just kind of combine it to those. Maybe even have Settling Sins or something. It's going to have, like, an inner circle and then invite some people. Maybe invite, like, a guy or two on. Maybe invite Quan to come out or Josuke or something. We're going to talk about some stuff. Black Clover and Fairy... If I do more than just Fairy Tail, like, the trio, I would say, is, like, Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, and Black Clover. Because, I mean, those are to me, like, the main 3 that I'd say, like, I do on my channel. Like, it's like, Fairy Tail obviously is, like, my most passionate one. Black Clover, Black Clover is, like, my shonen equivalent for it. Or Shonen Jump, rather. Because, obviously, like, both, anything from Mishima is in Shonen Magazine, not Shonen Jump. Whereas Tabata gets that similar vibes that I like in Shonen Jump. So, I definitely include that. And then, obviously, like, I'm not going to leave Eden Zero and all their high-quality waifus and stuff. Julia, worst girl? No, dude, Julia is one of the best girls in Fairy Tail. She's one of the most dedicated waifus, like, around. Fairy Tail, although I'm interested in a tier list of other series. Do you want this one just to be Fairy Tail? Because I can do just the Fairy Tail one and then include other series as well. But I can do them separate, or I can do them all collab, because I think it would be longer if it's just being... if I include, like, Eden Zero and Black Clover. But, that wouldn't be enough that it kind of, like, spreads out too much. Because that's, like, a good 3. I think that's, like, a solid trio of those 3. Let me see. Yeah, this is Kamano's absurd super chat. Gotta calm down a little bit, Kamano. You gotta buy yourself some nice things. Buy Peaches a hat. Who is Peaches? I do like knowing about other people's pets. That's like a guilty enjoyment of me. I like knowing the status of other people's animals just because I like seeing other people's pets. Like there's a guy I work with, and he's got a bunch of kids, but I always ask how his cat's doing. Just because he's got this nice little cat, and I like seeing how this little cat is doing. And I ask Quan how his turtle's doing. I didn't ask Josuke enough about his dog. I gotta ask how Coco's doing. And then I got, like, Sage with Avon and stuff. I do enjoy, like, how, people's just animals in general. Like, it's funny, like, I'm sure most people probably, at least either watch or know of the YouTuber, Super Mecha Frieza. Right? So I watch some of her content, and what's funny is, like, she'll put out, like, a cosplayer picture, like, something that she's just doing, like, she just feels like putting something out there. And I'm always looking immediately for her cat, Sanji. Because, like, I'm way more interested in seeing, like, it's like on a scale. It's like under certain reviews and reactions that she does, like second place is like cat content. I like seeing people's pets, man. Let's see. I even have that in my Discord server. I have a secret pet posting channel.
let's see. I checked the first episode of Black Clover Nation is good. So I actually don't know how much better they improved it on the Blu-rays, but I definitely check out the Blu-rays if you're gonna watch the anime, because there was definitely some earlier chunks, especially where like the animation was wonky. But that's just because probably, you know, like the budget, and then like they didn't know like how well the series would do, and the fact that it's weekly and stuff, that they just probably didn't put as much time and effort into it as they could have. But like anytime that they go crazy on an episode, they go really crazy, and I've always really liked that about the Black Clover anime, because they juice up the stuff that I'm usually wanting to get juiced up, and like extending fights. Like that's one of the things that will always salt me about certain scenes in like the Fairy Tail animes. It's because they have extended fights out and added extra scenes to make them better, but they don't do it that often, and I wish they did it more of. Like even just like an extra couple minutes to a fight can really improve on something. Like again, Gildarts versus Natsu at that end scene, like, it's not nearly that insane in the manga, but they made it so much better and so much more memorable by doing that. Let me see. Kamano, keep your head up. Like, no one's taking advantage of Kamano. I tell Kamano all the time that I wish he wouldn't super chat me as crazy as he did, just because I want him to buy himself some stuff. But at the same time, like I said, he can do whatever he wants with this money. He earned it. It's his to do whatever he feels like. But no one definitely should. No one should be taking advantage of Kenmano, though, or anybody in the chat. I don't want any of that to happen. No sly, schemering con stuff going on in my chat. Like that is for sure in there. That we are a friendly zone. I feel bad though, because Kenmano is the first person that signed up for my Patreon, and I'm planning on doing stuff. Right now, I'm just waiting on getting the art back from this person I'm commissioning from, so I can set up. And I'm gonna do a couple things. I'm not 100% sure if I wanted to redo the healer, but I kind of do at the same time, just because like that series seems like entertaining to like to talk about just in general. But I feel like it's mostly hentai. Like most of it is just sex, and like I don't know how much of that I can talk about. Like not even like watching it is no problem for me. Like I'm just like, okay, like what's going on here? It's like, aggressive, holy shit. Like usually I'm not pretty squeamish when it comes to like darker stuff. Like I've read Berserk and stuff. Like I've read dark series before. But, like, I just don't know what I would possibly say. Like I reviewed the Hino Ga Crush, which is the continuation, like the sequel of Kill la Kill. And there's in 2 chapters where John Tate for the super chat. 1 second, John Tate. Let me finish what I was saying. I like how it's not like he didn't actually interrupt me. It's just like I wanted to jump on that, but I gotta finish. I gotta wait for the audio to go by. So in that, like, there's the author of that series, like anybody who hasn't touched it, like he is 100% fine making villains as scummy as humanly possible and taking time to letting you know and hate them. But like the last chapter, like it was a previous chapter before. It was just like this chick was getting forcefully loved against her free will and I was upset. It was like, I hate this villain. I can't wait to see him die. But like I didn't really have anything to talk about other than just like I hate this guy if I did a chapter review. So I was like, I'm just gonna wait till the next one. But it was at the same time where I was just like, I don't know what I would really talk about with 3D Healer other than like, man, this guy gets fucked a lot. But let me see. Thank you for the $5 super chat, John Tate. Speaking of the Rax Discord, we have a section called Quan Lore. Also, hi Rax, how are your cats doing? They're doing pretty well. One of my cats, I just saw her. She's sleeping on my bed. They're pretty happy. I took one of them out in the snow because she hadn't seen snow before, and she is not happy. She did not like the snow. She was not pleased at what she saw. But yeah, my cats are doing pretty good. And the Quan Lore is legit. Like that's factual Quan Lore. Everything you read in there is probably true. Let me see. Like Quan did pick up a car. That happened. Rax, Noelle versus Elizabeth. Oh, Noelle. Like Elizabeth is just a healer. What does she do against? What does she do against Noelle? In a fight, Natsu beats Solo, but Lucy stronger than Juvia these days, so easy knowledge. Wait, what do you mean, though? I missed what that was for. Oh, wait, what is this? Rax, what do you think of Akira Haramoto, the author of Prison School, where the creative science extending along the lines of Gantz? What do you think? If he did that, I would definitely check that out. Like, I like his work. I haven't checked out that superhero series he did, though. I can't remember what it's called. I still need to check it out. I still need to finish Prison School, though, too. It's been on my list to finish forever, because it's one of those series that I liked, but I didn't really like reading it, like, by chapter. I like reading it in bulk, just because it's so weird. And if you got a weird chapter, and, it was more of, like, kind of goofy funny, and it's like, oh, that's all you have for the next 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know. It was just kind of, it would just kind of drift out of my attention. But it's finished, so I do want to finish it. And then I want to read that superhero one. If he did a sci-fi setting, oh, I've definitely checked that out, 100%. If that's already a thing, I will definitely check it out. Oh, who do I think wins between Victor and Sukuna? So right now, I would definitely go Victor, because Sukuna is powerful, but we don't know what Sukuna's bigger hacks is, and Victor just can't die. Victor can't die, and that doesn't mean he's unbeatable. Like, you can run him out of stamina, or you can figure out a way to seal him, or you could just be outright more powerful than him. There are ways around immortality, but currently Sukuna doesn't have anything about that. I didn't think too much of the fight when I posted it, but thinking about it, like, afterwards, like, when people actually started to ask it, like, I do think Victor would win, just based off of current. Like, we don't know much about Victor all out, and we do not know much about Sukuna all out. That is one thing. We haven't seen full power Sukuna. We haven't seen Victor when Victor really wants to, like, get out and stretch his legs. The closest we've seen is when he did that dead end attack, and that thing was, like, ripping apart areas of the city, and, like, that wasn't even, like, that wasn't a problem for him at all. Like, that was just such a casual attack for him. But yeah, I do think that he would win for sure. Hey, Rax, do some Rave Master video. I want to do some Rave Master stuff. That's the thing. Like, I can definitely see myself doing some Rave Master character videos later. Rax, Fairy Tail. Oh, yeah, this was already commented. Yeah, I'll probably do Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, and Black Clover Kenmato, like, as a waifu list. I'll message Quan and see if he wants to show up. Because he is the only other one that reads all those. I know he's a little bit behind on Fairy Tail, but that's still fine. I mean, like, being like 30 chapters behind 100 Years Quest isn't a problem when you've read, like, all the other stuff. It's not like, oh, he's he's 50 chapters in or something. But yeah, I'll definitely message him and see what he has to say. If any of the other guys can catch up on Eden Zero and Fairy Tail before that happens, I'll take any of them. But I don't want any, oh, I have no idea who this character is. I want full knowledge, and, like, the only person I don't expect is probably that will be in there is Celine. But, like, I'm fully ready to vouch for Celine. But, like, I'll talk to Quan and see what he has to say, and then if any of the other guys, like, if they catch up, like, I'll definitely invite him. Let's see, Rex, you think will happen after Dragon Gods get sealed? I think there's going to be a secret boss that's going to show up, 100%. I think there's going to be a secret boss that shows up once all the Dragon Gods are taken out. The animated series are so underpaid. Oh, it's because they have such bad, so they definitely don't get paid enough, but they also have very bad schedules. They don't get enough time, and they don't have enough people to work on a lot of these things, and it's very unfortunate because a lot of them work so hard. And when people complain, I get really upset when people complain about, like, the animation and stuff. When it's not like, man, I wanted to see that scene animated, or like that. Like, if somebody had, like, a scene they really wanted to see, like, look really good and it didn't turn out the way they wanted, sure. Like, but when people start complaining about the animators, and it's like, you have no idea of, like, what they were doing, their schedule. If it was revealed that, like, they just didn't feel like doing their job or something, which, you would have to have proof for that, then that'd be one thing. But as far as we know, like, they're doing what they can. They just don't have unlimited time, energy, and resources to do things. Best waifus from least favorite to favorite: Sally, Kahono, Charmy, Mosa, Rebecca, Marileona, Dorothy, Charlotte. Where did I read Mosa? Rebecca, Marileona, Dorothy, Charlotte, Posa, Nero, Noelle. That's a solid tier list. I would definitely move Sally up like 1 or 2 spots. Rebecca, though, it should be higher up. Rebecca is very slept on. Like, she can't fight, but she has a lot of just general high quality wife skills that she would, like, there'd always be someone safe at home. Marrying any of these other characters, they could die on mission. That's the thing. Like, think about, like, Aesir. Like, anybody who's going out and doing missions and doing crazy stuff can't die. Whereas Rebecca's at home. She's not getting any of this shit. She is just doing her thing. She's taking care of whatever's going on at home, making food, and being safe. Rebecca's a comfortable, safe bet, I would definitely say, when it comes to Black Clover waifus. Elizabeth's so disappointing. The thing is, like, Elizabeth just didn't get to do enough in general, which is rough because she clearly had strong powers, but, like, why didn't she just get, like, some of her healing abilities earlier in the series? Like, she didn't have to have goddess stuff. They could have just shown, oh, she has healing magic, okay, or just like holy magic, so like she can, you know, maybe like dispel curses or whatever her thing would be. And then that evolves and like into the goddess stuff. But like even when she got her goddess powers, she didn't really do anything for a long time. And that definitely to me was one of the unfortunate things about the series, like near the end. Oh, another super chat from John Tate. Thank you, John Tate, for what looks to be another super chat. Let me read it real quick. Since I have Ultimate Petty Magic, you got cheating in Black Clover Jeopardy. I kind of understand why Josuke got mad, and also Quan cheating. Quan was bribing the judge, and on top of that, some of those were a little bit unfair, just in general. I didn't like the ruling system where it's like,
Oh shit!
oh,
You just busted a nut.
so like the whole thing though of like you don't lose points if you get it wrong, but other people do, is just pick the high numbers, and if somebody steals it from you and is wrong, bam, they get negative. You don't lose anything. Like I was thinking about that later. I don't know why it's not just one and done. Just cause like it seems like it would move way faster. I don't know. I like it was funny though. Like Josuke and Faith were going at each other. It was pretty wild. Yeah. Let's see. Rita the Healer has a bad power system. It's worse than most isekai. I don't know anything about the power system. I just know that like this main character is either having sex with somebody or you have a flashback and somebody's raping him or something. And it's very, very unfortunate. I feel bad for him. At the same time, I'm interested in the series because the main character is kind of a villain, and that I find interesting. Like the super graphic sex stuff just seems like, you know, something that's just tacked on there that's gonna be a little awkward to watch at some points. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, like, if people pay me, they want to see my awkward commentary as I watch like this dude, you know, getting plowed out or plowing out. Like, so be it, I guess. You know, you do the thing, but I just thought that was like really funny because like people, and anytime I saw anyone reacting to it, it just seemed like, where's the story? Like, is it just like it's just porn? Let's see. We need a Quan Immaculate Guidebook. No, Quan's manly. I just told you can pick up a car. Quan went to art school. Quan did. He drew himself picking up the car. As he was picking it up, he held the car up with one hand and painted himself, not even looking, perfectly. Funny enough, I was trying out several new series. So I checked out Reading the Healer when the manga dropped, and I read like the first chapter, and I was like, what's the point of this? And then I put it away, and then like it got an anime, and then it's way more graphic than I remember. So apparently the novel's worse, and apparently it's written by a female. So I'm wondering, like, is this chick just kinky crazy, or what's going on with that? Graduating high school in 2022. Nice. That's a hype moment when you graduate, and like there's like a sense of just like general hype when knowing that you're done with school and you get to kind of like pick what you want to do for a little bit. The way that I personally would say the best way to set it up is what I did is like save up money and then take like a chunk of time off before you do whatever you like. If you want to do, like, if you have a job lined up, or you're going to school or the military or like a trade school, whatever you possibly pick, I would definitely say save up some cash and then just have like a period between graduation and whenever your next plan is of just being lazy and relaxing, and it is so good. Like, I did that after I graduated. There were months that I just hung out. I watched anime, I freaking played games, I hung out with my friends before they all shipped out doing whatever their plans were. It was great. I love that. That was still, like, thinking back to it, was one of the most fun times just because I got to do whatever I want for a while. Let's see, Juvia versus Laguna. Oh, Juvia. Like, Juvia's one more powerful. People were mad when Fairy Tail beat Naruto and Bleach in manga sales, and both were top 3 in Shonen Jump. I think Fairy Tail almost beat Naruto one year, because that year it was, like, One Piece that was at number 1, and then it was Naruto, and then it was Fairy Tail. But Fairy Tail only lost it by like a chunk. And that was, like, I think, Fairy Tail's biggest year. It had like 5-point-something million, I think, sales and volumes. It might have been like upper 4s. Either way, it did really well that year. And it actually does really well overall. Like, Fairy Tail has sold over, I think it's like last check, not even counting like the spinoffs, like 72 million volumes, which is really good. Like, I'd be curious, like, how long it would take if they included all the spinoffs and stuff. Like, how long it would take to get to 100 million. Let's see. I don't know who Kamano's talking to, but whoever you're happy for, Kamano, I'm happy for as well. used to be a Fairy Tail hater, now I'm gradually becoming a fan. Oh, that's good. Fairy Tail's hype. Like, people just like to hate on it. So, Inferno, assuming that you're a fan of Black Clover, like, because I see, obviously, like, the first time I saw you was in Faith's stream, and I think Josuke's stream as well. But, it gets the same, like, if you've been on Twitter, like, Black Clover gets hate for no reason. Like, there'll be times people just slander it just cuz. And that's the same thing that Fairy Tail gets. Like, people just hate on it for absolutely no reason. And, again, a perfect example is, like, when Eden Zero came out, and it's not just Fairy Tail, it's Mishima. Mishima, for some reason, has this weird ire from the internet. But it's like when Eden Zero, like, came out, and people were saying, like, oh, these characters look similar. But it's like, nobody complained when there were, like, Rave Master references in Fairy Tail. Nobody complained when the main cast of Bruno Witch looked like similar characters in Bleach. Nobody complained when Percival looked like Meliodas. People only seem to find a problem when it has to do with Mishima, and it has to do with anything, adjacent to Fairy Tail. Like, no one even goes after Rave Master, which is the weird thing, too. I feel like also one of the things that, like, people even go after Eden Zero is because it's Fairy Tail adjacent. And Fairy Tail, similar to Black Clover, just gets slandered for no reason. Like, Bleach was in that spot, but Bleach has gradually moved out of it. And one of the things, luckily for Black Clover, is the Black Clover fandom has a very, very fast-to-react attack squad, whereas, like, Fairy Tail has some members, but there's just not nearly as many who are ready to jump on slanders at any point. Do you think Sukuna's evil? Yes, I do. I think Sukuna's a psycho. Let me get caught up. I'm gonna work towards the end of the stream, and then, wrap up stuff. Hirata doesn't have a new series, and a superhero series already. Did it really? Damn it. Well, I'm going to read that anyway. It's definitely on my list. Like the stream you haven't read. Yeah, thank you very much. That's what I'm saying. You guys are only second to Black Clover in terms of employability, or enjoyability. Yeah, I like Jujutsu Kaisen a lot, too. I definitely am more invested in Black Clover. Rex, please make Quan read Berserk. I'm trying. I've been trying to get him to read Berserk. I would try to get anybody to read Berserk. Like, Berserk is always hype. I'm always hyped to talk about Berserk. I love Berserk. Do you think Asta will end up... who do you think Asta will end up with the series? Oh, Noelle, 100%. Rax, relax. Rebecca's underrated, though. Underrated. She has a lot more value than people give it to her, though. Because, like, think about it. She has cooking skills. Like, she has classic, like, 1950s housewife skills. Like, she just knows... Like, she's a valuable asset to have around. And it's weird to think about, because you have all these badass, like, fighting chicks, these chicks that can do all this sick stuff in combat. You look at Marileona and Noelle, you look at Charlotte, all these, like, super powerful women. But at the same time, you look at, like, Rebecca just has that safe pick. Rebecca's not going out getting into battles. You're not going to come home one day and Rebecca died out in war. You come home, you make it home, Rebecca's probably at home, she's probably got dinner for you, she's probably happy to see you, and you're going to be very happy to see her, because she, on top of that, she has a very caring personality, and when, the Rebecca slander is never allowed, whether it's Eden Zero Rebecca, or it's Black Clover Rebecca. No Rebeccas are to be slandered. What do you think can turn Natsu into something akin to Future? I don't know, but, like, Natsu has this weird thing going on, because he has a very similar pathway as Acnologia had, except for, like, Natsu had a very good mentor with Ignil, and the original Acnologia was not a good mentor to who later became Acnologia. But the thing is, like, Natsu, I think when Natsu had no control over himself during the fight in Nurstrovia, is he might be contemplating about that idea of him losing control and just going down that path of, like, path of massacre that Acnologia ended up kind of going down. And I'm really hyped to the idea that Mishima is going to do more with that. I've got my fingers crossed, just because he went out of his way to do that with the flashback in anime, and he's doing, obviously, like, Natsu having some form of moral dilemma with his power from that arc. Main character of Read the Heroes of Menace Society and Devious. He seems like it. He seems like a bad guy. Let me scroll down. Check out Golgo 13. I might. Like, it's definitely something that I've thought about, though. Wait, the only thing I don't like about Fairy Tail is how fights, and it really depends on the fight, but a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people don't look at the context. It's like when Urza beat Kyoka, it didn't matter, because beating Kyoka wasn't Urza's goal. Urza's goal was preventing Face from activating. Kyoka's goal was activating Face. Urza was not going to die because Kyoka didn't want her to die, because she wanted her to become a torture toy to Margear. Kyoka was going to die no matter what the second Face went off, because she linked to it. So Urza defeating Kyoka and Kyoka dying changed nothing. the thing that was the determining factor of the fight was face went off, so Urza lost. And then when you look at something like Sirius Island, like Azuma was using power that is designed to protect Fairy Tail members to attack Urza, and he was already exhausted after one Terra Kermal, so using another one, like, he lost control, and it went back to protecting Urza. Let's see. At least Sonata didn't have to battle an award to die, except Naruto. What does that have to do with anything? I'm confused on where that is. They hate on Black Clone Fairy Tail because it is a trend. Yeah, it's like a clout thing. Despite all the hate Mishima gets. Mishima is amazing. Like, Mishima works so hard. He's such a solid dude. He always wants to keep the fans happy and keep the fans going. I can't wait. If my idea for the character I want to put into Eden Zero gets accepted, man, I can't wait to see what this guy can do. Like, it will be a while. Like, it would have to be contest, and then however long at the contest, and then have to be lucky enough to win. But I'm hoping that I can, they can get this, and then I can add some crazy character we can all hype up about. I will say the power that I want. This is the last thing I will say just about it, because I don't want to go too much into detail. But the Ether Gear idea that I have is radiation, and I can't wait to go over. Like, when it comes out, I can't wait for people to react to the idea that I have. But anyway, other than that, though, I'm going to end the stream. It's been, like a little over an hour and a half, I think. An hour and 50 minutes, so a little under 2 hours. So, I'm happy everyone showed up, obviously. John Tate and Kimano, thanks for your super chats. Kimano is being insane, as always, with his super chats. But all the super chats, like I said, are appreciated. They are not required. They are all just a donation of, anything that you guys think that I deserve for hopefully keeping you as entertained as I can. Like, I don't think I'm that entertaining, but for some reason, people have decided that they have taken a liking to me just rambling and talking. I don't know. Maybe it's like good chore like audio. Like, whenever you do your dishes, you just want to have something playing. I'll take pride in that, actually, because that is one thing. Like, when I'm getting ready to do dishes, like, half of the time probably going into it is me trying to find something to use to listen to as I'm doing it. But anyway. Other than that, though, yeah, thanks everyone for showing up. Thank you for the super chats, like I said. Kenmano, come on if you're still here. Like I said, the next video that's gonna come out, I actually need to put out this Unundated Unluck and Phantom Sphere video. They've been uploaded for hours, but I haven't given them a thumbnail, so I haven't fully uploaded them. So they're kind of, I've definitely fumbled the ball on that one for them. But I'm gonna do those, upload those. Black Clover prediction for the next chapter should be out tomorrow. And then it's the Eden Zero and Four Nights of the Apocalypse reviews. And then I should be doing the Atlas Flame video. The Atlas Flame video will come out before I do any other, any theory videos or any discussions. Those Lucy videos that I have planned, I'm not doing them until I get the Atlas Flame video. And then, like I said, I'm going to do that tier list maker video this weekend. We'll do waifus. It was definitely on the line, though, that I wanted. Like, I wanted to do the female list because obviously, I want to hype Lucy up. I want to hype Noelle up, too. But anyway, other than that, though, thanks everyone for showing up. I hope you guys all have a great week. Stay safe, and look forward, hopefully, to the next stream. Well, not hopefully.